أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. We welcome our viewers and listeners to this special episode that is prepared to discuss stories from the Holy Qur'an. We shall be looking into different stories at different episodes, but for the time being, and being the first episode, I have in the studio to discuss stories from the Holy Quran and other series my brother Ibrahim Muhammad Bello from the Da'wah Institute of Nigeria Islamic Education Trusts. Brother, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I remain Yahya D. Muhammad, who will be anchoring this program. We've read and heard a lot of stories from the Holy Quran, the likes of Luqman al-Hikmah, the likes of Musa and Khidr, the likes of Ashab al-Kahf, and a lot more. Today, inshallah, we shall be looking especially into the history or the stories of Qarun. To begin with, I will want to invite Brother Ibrahim Muhammad Bello, who will be telling us why does the Quran itself takes or carry the content of story as we have in the Holy Quran. Why do we have, are there stories in the Holy Quran, and why is the Quran using this pattern of narrating stories for us?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, it is interesting to know that more than half of Quran's message is in form of stories. I said more than half of Quran's message is in form of story. And this is because if a lesson is taught in form of stories, it has the ability of gluing faster to the memory.
No.
And it makes one to conceptualize things that are abstract. In a movie form, they start looking like reality.
No.
So stories are actually meant to teach lessons and to be remembered.
No.
And that's why not only the Quran, most of heavenly revealed books have a lot of stories. Because stories make it look real in a way. So this is why you have more stories in the Quran.
No.
Similarly, like I said, stories are meant to teach lessons and for the lessons to be remembered. They're just not meant for one to enjoy story is going on. Allah told us in Quran, Allah commanded the prophets, He said, فَقَصُصِ الْقَصَصَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ.
No.
So, narrate or relate stories so that they might reflect.
No.
So meaning stories are actually meant for people to reflect, to learn. In a number of verses, when Allah will finish telling us a particular story, He will tell us there are lessons, there are wisdoms.
No.
Take example of the story of Prophet Yusuf, that lengthy story. When Allah finished all the narrations, Allah says, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبَارَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. Verily, in their own story, there are wisdoms, there are lessons for men of understanding. So this is to tell you that stories are meant to teach lessons, they are meant for us to learn. In another verse I remember, like many other verses of Quran, it's not just one in Quran, when Allah told us how He punished Fir'aun when he claimed he is God. Allah said, Inna fi dhalika la'ibaratan liman yakhsha. Verily in that, there are lessons, there are wisdoms, there are things to ponder over for people who are conscious of meeting God. So this is why stories are important. And Quran stories are stories narrated by Allah Himself for us to take lessons. So this is one of the stories we'll be looking at today. Like you said earlier, this brings us why we should be discussing stories.
Thank you very much. Now we've been able to understand and have a reason why verses or some verses of the Holy Quran are being revealed in story form. It is for us to reflect, it is for us to ponder, and it is for us to also take lessons from these stories. Like I said earlier, we shall be looking at Qarun. Who is this Qarun? And what is it that we have to learn about Qarun in the Quran?
Thank you very much.
No.
Like you mentioned earlier, one of the stories of the Quran is that of Qarun. Allah relates this story in Quran chapter 28, verses 76 to 82.
No.
Allah says, and maybe if we take it that way, it's even easier, as if Allah answer your questions. Allah says, Inna Qaruna kana min qawmi Musa. Verily, Qarun was among the people of Musa.
No.
Why did Allah say kana min qawmi Musa? Allah relate him to Musa because genealogically,
No.
by birth, he's related to Musa. He's a cousin of Prophet Musa. And Allah say, فَبَغَى عَلَيْهِمْ.
No.
But he transgressed. He exalts. Okay? He went out of bounds.
Subhanallah.
He felt above the law. He felt he's okay with his own education and richness.
No.
That's why Allah is telling us about him. And that's why Allah introduced that. He said, Inna Qaruna kana min qawmi Musa fabagha alayhim. But what exactly did Allah want us to know about him more?
No.
He said, وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْكُنُوزِ مَا إِنَّ مَفَاتِحَهُ لَتَنُوءُ بِالْعُصْبَةِ أُولِي الْقُوَّةِ.
No.
We gave him so much wealth that the key to the treasures
No.
of the wealth will burden a body of men.
Just the key.
Just the keys
No.
that are used to lock the safe in our modern town. You know, you have a safe where you lock in millions.
No.
Now, just the key is heavy enough that you need tens of men to carry the keys along.
No.
On a number of rides, they say many donkeys or so. So to tell you, he's really, really very wealthy. Not the wealth itself, but the key.
Just the key to the treasure.
And in those days, when somebody is said to be rich, it's not actually your naira and dollar, it's actually gold
Allah Akbar.
and silver, the real wealth. فَبَغَى عَلَيْهِمْ. Allah says, وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْكُنُوزِ مَا إِنَّ مَفَاتِحَهُ لَتَنُوءُ بِالْعُصْبَةِ أُولِي الْقُوَّةِ إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ قَوْمُهُ. When his people said to him,
No.
well-wishers, including Prophet Musa, advised him. They said, لَا تَفْرَحْ. Do not exalt. Do not go out of bounds in the name of joy. Do not transgress. Because faraha in Quran is either used to mean exaltation or happiness. Because exaltation is another form of happiness, but the extreme form of it.
No.
So la tafrah here means do not exalt. Inna Allah la yuhibbul farihin. Verily, Allah does not love those who exalt. Out of joy, out of bounty they feel they are giving. And then they went further. They said, وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ.
No.
And seek with what Allah has given you the hereafter.
No.
Meaning, the blessings you are given by Allah of this wealth, use it to seek the pleasure of God. It's a blessing from God.
No.
So use it the way it will please the benefactor. You are a beneficiary of Allah's blessing. If you really want Allah to continue blessing you and be pleased with you, you have to spend this wealth in a way it pleases Him.
No.
But then they told him also, وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. It is interesting and it's a lesson for all of us. But do not forget your own blessings of the world. Don't forget to enjoy the world. Islam is not saying you are just for hereafter. No, you can seek Allah's pleasure, but you can eat well, drink well, marry, buy good things.
From the same wealth.
Yes, from your wealth.
No.
And this is one good thing about Islam. It strikes a balance between spiritual exaltation and material innovation. Let me come again. It's a religion that tries to strike a balance between being pious and conscious and godly, and also being well in enjoying and benefiting from the world. You can have enough wealth if you want, but seek it from the halal way. Okay, if you also have the wealth, you can use it to please Allah, but also to please yourself, to please your family, to please your people, to make life better and comfortable. Because the essence of the wealth is a means to an end. So to make life better. And this is what I feel is the crux of the story
about God.
That blessings given to us, yours might be knowledge or wealth or anything, but use it to seek Allah's pleasure, seek hereafter. And there is nothing wrong in trying to benefit from the world too. وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. This is another way of repeating that. And be kind, try to be good, show kindness to people, just as Allah has shown kindness to you. Because it's Allah's will to give you, not because you are smarter or clever or you are more hardworking. وَلَا تَبْغِي الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And do not seek to commit mischief, atrocities on the earth because you are rich. Why? إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَرِحِينَ. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Because verily Allah does not love those who commit atrocities, those who commit transgressions, mischievous people. Allah does not love them. So أحسن كما أحسن الله إليك ولا تنس نصيبك من الدنيا وأحسن كما أحسن الله إليك ولا تبغي الفساد في الأرض إن الله لا يحب المفسدين. Now this was what was said to Qarun. Qarun in reply says, إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. No, don't bring Allah into this equation. I only become rich because I deserve it. Because I am more educated, maybe.
That's Qarun now.
That is Qarun now. Subhanallah.
After calling his attention.
Thank you. But this is what is common or typical of mankind generally. When he see himself to be blessed, he start thinking it's because he deserves it. And that it will be permanent. Some will even telling you that in fact even in the hereafter, since I am rich in the world, even in the hereafter I will be rich.
It was his hard work that
it was his hard work.
That gave him all that wealth.
Purely, that's what he said. Maybe because he felt God loved him more than others. You know, sometimes when people become rich, they feel they're even closer to God than you.
Subhanallah.
And you know, Allah brought these revelations to the Prophet at a time when his contemporaries were challenging him. That لولا نزل هذا القرآن على رجل من القريتين عظيم. If Allah want to reveal Quran, why not to rich people, the most wealthy people in our own generation? And Allah now cite an example like, look, somebody was richer than these people you were thinking, but his wealth availed him nothing when he was found wanting before God.
Subhanallah.
So Allah said, أَوَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ. Doesn't he know? أن الله قد أهلك من قبله من القرون من هو أشد منه قوة وأكثر جماعة. Doesn't he know?
That is Qarun.
Yes, Allah is now replying him. Responding to his own claim and assertion that because he is more knowledgeable, he deserves it. Has he forgotten that Allah perished, Allah destroyed before him those that are stronger and wealthier than him? So to tell you that in the past, Allah destroyed people that are wealthier and richer than Qarun. So this is Qarun. He was blessed, but he was arrogant. He went out of bounds and transgressed. So
thank you very much, Brother Ibrahim Muhammad Bello. If you are just joining the program, it has been stories from the Holy Quran. And in today's episode, we've been looking at Qarun, who Qarun is, and what lessons to take from his life in the Holy Quran. We shall be going for a little break, and we shall be back. We hope our listeners and viewers will be with us. Thank you very much until we return. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.